4,000 years ago, a man in ancient Mesopotamia lost everything. Not in a war, not in a flood, but because of a contract. A small clay tablet pressed with symbols, promising money he did not yet have. It was one of the earliest recorded debts in human history. And what's disturbing is this: the traps that ruined him are still ruining people today. Money has evolved. Coins became paper, paper became numbers on a screen. But the psychological traps around money have barely changed in 4,000 years. And history shows the same 5 traps repeating, again and again. The first trap is debt disguised as opportunity. In ancient Babylon, farmers borrowed silver to plant crops. Sounded reasonable. Borrow today, harvest tomorrow. But when drought came, the harvest never arrived. Yet the debt remained. Farmers lost their land, families were forced into servitude, and entire villages collapsed under debt they could never repay. Today the system looks more sophisticated. Credit cards, buy no pay later plans, student loans, but the structure is identical. Borrowing against a future that hasn't happened yet. And if that future fails, the debt still waits. The second trap is the illusion of fast wealth. In 1636, in the Netherlands, something strange happened. Tulip flowers became the most valuable commodity in the country. Rare tulip bulbs were traded like gold. At the peak of the frenzy, a single bulb could cost more than a luxury house. People sold farms, businesses, their entire life savings, just to buy flowers. Then one winter morning, buyers stopped showing up. The market collapsed almost overnight. Fortunes vanished. Tulips became just flowers again. But the psychology behind that madness still survives. Every generation discovers a new version. .com, stocks, crypto bubbles, speculative manias. Different asset, same trap, the promise of easy money. The third trap is inflation, the invisible thief. In ancient Rome, the silver coin called the denarius once contained nearly pure silver. But over time, emperors began quietly diluting it. Less silver, more cheap metal. The coins looked the same, but their value slowly evaporated. Prices began rising. Trust began falling. By the 3rd century, Roman currency had lost most of its purchasing power, and the empire entered financial chaos. Today, inflation is rarely caused by melted coins. It happens through money creation, stimulus programs, central bank expansion. The method changed, but the outcome did not. Money slowly loses its strength, while people barely notice. The fourth trap is status spending. 4,000 years ago in Egypt, wealthy elites built extravagant tombs and collected luxury goods to display their power. It wasn't about survival. It was about appearance, showing others who had more. Human beings have always measured status through visible wealth, and that instinct is dangerous. Today it appears as luxury cars bought with loans, designer brands purchased on credit, and homes that stretch budgets to their breaking point. The goal isn't financial stability, it's social perception. And history shows that chasing status often leads to quiet financial collapse. The fifth and oldest trap is trusting systems that feel permanent. Every generation believes its financial system is stable. Rome believed its empire would last forever. European bankers believed their markets were unbreakable before the crash of 1929. American investors believed housing prices could never fall before 2008. And yet every financial system eventually reveals cracks. Because systems are built by humans, and humans repeat the same mistakes: overconfidence, greed, fear, and short memory. When you step back and examine 4,000 years of economic history, something unsettling becomes clear. Technology evolves, currencies evolve, markets evolve, but human behavior barely changes. Debt still seduces. Speculation still spreads like wildfire. Inflation still eats away quietly. Status still pressures people into foolish decisions. And trust in permanent systems still blinds entire generations. The clay tablets of ancient Babylon are preserved in museums today. Small records of debts, contracts, promises. They look primitive. But if you read them carefully, you realize something chilling. The financial traps written into those ancient tablets are the same traps still written into modern bank statements. 4,000 years later, The tools have changed, but the game is exactly the same. Thanks for watching. If you found this perspective valuable, consider subscribing for more content that explores the deeper patterns of our world. See you in the next one.